So a few battles ago, I claimed that I had the longest battle I think I've ever had, and that didn't last very long. This one is quite a bit even longer than that last one. This one is 62 turns, and yeah, it can happen in UU right now. UU is really defined by its bulk and in general, so it's a very, very interesting format, one that I think, as I said earlier, is in a very good place. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this battle with EnterZync from my Twitch stream. He came on and wanted a battle, so let's do it. So the first thing I noticed right off the bat, looking at his team preview, he is very powerful team. A lot of it, he has 2 semi-legends on it, and I remember a lot of his team being OU pretty recently, so right off the bat, I'm pretty intimidated by that, but I think I can still do some work. So he leads with Mega Aggron, as I lead with my Gligar, a Pokemon I really do like in UU, thanks to the Eviolite item. I mean, it's pretty much been said already, but it does allow Gligar to reach some pretty amazing defensive stats, and as you can see, taking that Heavy Slam like a champ, and now I'm going to switch out, having set up Stealth Rocks. I go into Arcanine, because I know that I can resist, and yeah, also get off the Intimidate, but he's just going to set up Stealth Rocks himself. It seems to be a lead Mega Aggron, which is pretty cool. But I'm just going to go ahead and burn it, which I know will cripple it in the long run. Now, you might have noticed that this battle's going a little bit faster than I normally speed it up. That's to get it down to a point that I can actually, like, post it within 20 minutes, so this is a very long battle. Anyway, so my Arcanine got paralyzed, and that's just not good, and I'm going to go out into Tentacruel now, basically just to, I don't even know. I didn't expect him to Thunder Wave twice in a row, to be honest, and I didn't expect him to stay in against a fire move, so he ends up making a pretty good play, predicting my switch into Tentacruel and getting the paralysis against that as well. Tentacruel does actually have quite a nice base speed. I think it's actually 100, so it's not the slowest Pokemon in the world, and it really does like to not be paralyzed. Anyway, it is a Rapid Spinner, though, and I can go ahead and get rid of his Stealth Rocks, although he just goes into his Zapdos, which is obviously probably his Defogger, so they're gonna go away anyway, as he goes for the Defog to get rid of the entry hazards on his own field. So that's a thing, as I go into Gligar here, and I do that because I would really like to actually get the Poison off on this thing, because, yeah, Zapdoses are typically always bulky, and it would just be kind of nice to get, you know, some residual damage and stuff. Regardless, he goes out into his Entei, and this thing is a scary Pokemon. Now, Entei has never been exactly OU, but with Sacred Fire now on its moveset and a Choice Band, this thing has been doing a lot of work in the UU metagame. And take a look at that damage, just a Flare Blitz, actually, slightly stronger than Sacred Fire, but obviously, you use the Sacred Fire for the 50% bird chance. But, yeah, as you can see, it does more than half to Gligar, who is more of a physical wall than a special one, so that is a lot of damage. So I have to switch out. I go into Arcanine because I have the Intimidate plus the Fire Resist. So, yeah, I think I can take that pretty nicely, and I do after the Intimidate, thankfully. This is actually a bulky Arcanine set. Maybe I should have brought a more offensive one. You'll see a bit later in the battle, but I do have 2 Arcanine sets. One of them contains some attacking moves. This one is more of a toolbox/tank Arcanine, which only has 2 attacking moves, but carries Morning Sun, as well as, well, wait, what is the other thing it has? I know, I can't remember now. Oh, it has Will-O-Wisp, duh, because I used Will-O-Wisp earlier against the Mega Aggron. So he goes out into Suicune now, which is easily the scariest thing in his team for me. I don't really have a direct counter to this thing. Depending on this set, this thing is going to be a really big problem, and if it sets up, it could sweep me. So I have to be pretty careful against this thing. He is going to set up a Calm Mind, which is kind of what Suicune likes to do, as I go into Grand Bull. And I do that because I actually want to go ahead and get rid of the statuses on my team. I have 2 Pokemon paralyzed right now, and that's just not cool. So I'm just going to go for the Heal Bell. This is another defensively, this is another somewhat defensive set as opposed to an offensive one. I'm using Grand Bull here kind of as a Cleric, and maybe it's not the best Cleric Pokemon, but I decided to give it a whirl. And as you can see, I do get the Heal Bell off, but I'm not going to be able to take 2 Scalds after a Calm Mind, so I do lose Grand Bull, and probably not the greatest thing ever. Could have switched out, maybe, I don't know. I go into Drapion now, and this Drapion is another bulky Pokemon. Maybe I just have too much bulky Pokemon in this team, and so does he, and that's why it lasted so long. Upon reflection. But yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and Whirlwind it out, just to, yeah, get rid of its Calm Mind. I just don't want to deal with it right now. He goes out into Salamence, and for some reason I was not thinking about Earthquake. I really should be, though, and I do survive that Earthquake thanks to my bulk and get off the knockoff, although it's just a Lumberry. I don't think that would have really mattered if it stayed on anyway, but yeah, he's going to go for the other Earthquake to finish me off. I could have switched out into Gliscor or Scyther here, but I was just too afraid that he would switch it up and go Outrage, and that would just do a ton of damage. But now I am going to go into Scyther. I can go for the Swords Dance, and I'm somewhat scared as he goes for the Dragon Dance, so now he's going to probably outspeed me. But I know if I can live an Outrage, and I might be able to, thanks to Eviolite, I can just destroy this thing with the Aerial Ace. And look at that damage, though. Eviolite never ceases to amaze me, even on a Pokemon that's not, quite the most defensive thing in the world, like Scyther, helping it tank a +1 Outrage from a Salamence, so pretty nice. Although he is going to go into Entei and go for the Extreme Speed, another variable move that's on that on Entei and really allows it to be a great choice banter is Extreme Speed, and it's able to take out my Scyther, sadly, and yeah, that kind of blows. I go into Gligar now, knowing that I can basically take an Extreme Speed like, anything, and yeah, he goes out into Suicune, as I believe I just go for the Roost to get my HP back, although, I'm about half dead, so pretty good move. And I know he's going to probably try to set up a Calm Mind instead of switching right away, which is definitely a risk because this thing could have easily scalded me, or I didn't know at this point if it actually carried Ice Beam or not. I decided to go for the Toxic, just because I kind of 100% knew he was going to go for that Calm Mind. Now, this doesn't actually hurt him, because a lot of Suicunes use Rest as a reliable recovery move, which will get rid of the Toxic, as well as heal him to full. So I really have to rely now on Tentacruel. Now, this Tentacruel is basically the only Pokemon that I have that, in my mind, has a prayer of stopping the Suicune. I think so because this thing does have Acid Spray, which is an actually really cool move. It's, well, it's a 100% accuracy move that does a little bit of damage, but also lowers special defense by 2 stages. So I can start negating these Calm Minds and then some by lowering this thing's special defense. And once I do that, I know that I should be able to do Sludge Bomb for decent damage. I do resist the 2 moves that Suicune commonly carries. I resist Scald and Ice Beam. And being that Tentacruel is a special tank, I'm actually thinking that I can take them quite nicely. Take a look at that. How many Calm Minds was that? That was like 3 or 4. Maybe, yeah, I think it was like 4 Calm Minds. And I take that Scald like a champ. This thing does not even have the Ice Beam, apparently. He is one attacking move set, because he's the Rest Talker, but as you can see, I can take those for days, man. I can take those for days. I'm going to go for a Sludge Bomb here because I have enough Acid Sprays that I think it'll do some neat damage. Unfortunately for me, he goes out into Wrecker, his Mega Aggron, and I don't want to stay in on this thing. Actually, I don't know why I wouldn't want to stay in on this thing, upon reflection. I could have probably just scalded it, but I didn't know if this thing carried Earthquake randomly, although I probably could have taken it after the burn. I don't know. Some of the things going in my head, as a battler, especially when I'm rewatching these things, I'm like, wait, why did I do that? I could have done that differently, And I think it's actually made me a better player rewatching a lot of these matches. Regardless, he actually makes a great play and double switches into Suicune to get off the Rest, which is a good play, predicting that I would go into Gligar. And, yeah, that kind of sucks because it gives that Suicune the recovery it needs. So I'm going to go just for an Acid Spray again, in case he wants to continue staying in with Suicune. He ends up just going out into his Zapdos, which, that's okay. I guess I'll get that thing some special defense drop, although I don't really have another Pokemon left on my team that can really abuse a special defense drop, sadly. And I really can't afford to stay in against this thing and take a Thunderbolt or a Thunder or a Discharge. And I just don't want to take that. Stab, Discharge, no thank you. I go out into my Gligar, who is immune, and will probably force the switch. Now, I think I misclicked this turn. Is this the turn I misclicked and went for the Rock Slide? It might actually look like, hey, that's a pretty good move. No, it would have done nothing against that Zapdos. I think what I actually wanted to do is go for the Toxic, so either way, I wouldn't have done anything against this thing. But now I can just set up Stealth Rocks again, hooray. No, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to set up Stealth Rocks, and I misclicked and hit Rock Slide, which does, nothing against this Mega Aggron. And it would have really done nothing against that Zapdos either. It would have been able to easily roost off the damage, I think, that it does. Regardless, yeah. He's going to go for his own Stealth Rocks, which is fine. I do have my Rocket Spinner, although he still has his Defogger and Zapdos. Although he will be forced to take 25% Stealth Rock damage to go into his Defogger. So, you know what? As far as I'm concerned, using Stealth Rocks is a win because it does future damage to that Zapdos. Regardless, his Aggron is nearly dead, and he does go out into this Zapdos again this turn. And I guess he just really wants to defog. It's kind of, what he wants to do, I guess. I'm just going to go for the Roost because I didn't know what this thing would do, and I just wanted to basically recover everything that it did. Because that's, really what Gligar likes to do. And if he wants to go for the Defog, that's fine. Defog actually will get rid of the hazards he just set up as well, so fine trade for me, because I can go for the Toxic against this Zapdos. And I knew he would try to go for the Defog, and I'm going to make him pay for it. Now, obviously, Toxic is a pretty annoying status move. It's going to keep the Zapdos from not being able to stay very long, as well as hit it with residual damage now, so it's not going to be able to come in and benefit from its leftovers recovery. Anyway, back into this Aggron, and while Rock Slide will not KO, it will die to its burn this turn, so at least I don't have to deal with this thing anymore. No more Stealth Rocks for him, that's for sure. And for whatever reason, another thing that I'm looking back in this battle, I don't think I ever tried to set them back up again. I really should have continued trying to set up Stealth Rocks, just for the residual damage against Entei and Zapdos if they try to switch in. Now, I mean, especially Zapdos, who will try to come in and defog. I could have gotten some good residual damage on him trying to do that. I don't know why I didn't go for more Stealth Rocks, but whatever. Now he is going to go into Toxicroak, which I guess he knows at this point. He saw Rock Slide, so he knows I don't carry Earthquake, so he's pretty confident about coming in. There's nothing really I can do to this thing, being that I am a Toxic Staller kind of on that Gligar. And he does resist my one attacking move, Rock Slide, so I'm just going to go out into Arcanine. I do that because if this thing has Dry Skin, it will be weak to my fire-type attacks. I decide that it's actually safer to go for the Will-O-Wisp, and he misses with Gunk Shot Miss. Well, Gunk Miss, or whatever you want to call it, which really kind of hurt him. I don't think would have killed me, as I said, because this is a bulky Arcanine. I do have defensive investment, and yeah, he did only have +1 as well, attack, because of my Intimidate, so I don't think I would have died to that Gunk Shot, but I definitely would have done damage, and it really does suck for him that it misses, but you know, that's what happens when you play with low accuracy move children. But yeah, I'm just going to finish him off with Extreme Speed now. He went for another Swords Dance, and yeah, now he's just going to die. But you can definitely see that Flare Blitz not, you know, killing the thing, that this thing is defensively EV'd, not offensively. So he goes back into Entei, and yeah, I just don't want to take a Stone Edge, which it probably has. I actually decide to go for the Extreme Speed. Oh, right, I predicted that he would predict Gligar, that's right, and I go for the Extreme Speed, which is actually a pretty good play, because it gets some damage on this thing as he tries to go for the Sacred Fire, which isn't going to do much to me. So that's pretty cool, and he is going to switch out into his Suicune again, which is a good play, because this Suicune is not really going to be taking anything from this Arcanine, although I can just go for the Morning Sun and get some of my HP back, which is kind of nice. This thing is still asleep, so I know I can go into my Tentacruel. He can go for the Sleep Talk, which is obviously unreliable, and here I think kind of sucks. He gets the Scald off the Sleep Talk and gets the burn. Now, I guess that's not really so bad, because I mean, Tentacruel versus Suicune, we kind of knew from the start this matchup would end up happening, and honestly, it was just a matter of time until he got the burn. It just really sucks that he got the burn so soon, because this residual damage is really going to hurt me in the long run. Tentacruel does not have a way to reliably recover its health, unlike Suicune, so I can't really do anything about this residual damage, and it is going to be doing more damage than I am healing with my Black Sludge, so it is quite a nuisance, to say the least. Now, he goes back into Zapdos here, and I'm just going to go straight back into Gligar, because I really don't want to take a Discharge or anything. He's just going to withdraw, though, predicting that, into his Entei. And I guess he was predicting that I would go back into Arcanine, thinking that he would go for Sacred Fire, and I make another great prediction against this Entei. I decided to stay in and see what he would do, just go for the Roost. Actually, not that much of a you know, a risk for me. I mean, he could have went for the Sacred Fire and gotten a burn, which would have been really annoying, but I just went for the safer play, and yeah, he just locked himself in a Stone Edge. If that, I mean, if that doesn't crit, it's not going to do anything. I go for the Roost again, though. I really should have spent that turn setting up Stealth Rocks again. I don't know what I was thinking. But this Suicune is still fast asleep, and he's just going to get another Sleep Talk off. I'm hoping for rests. And it just doesn't seem to happen, man. Oh, Sleep Talkers. I can just never seem to get lucky with them, but when my opponent uses them, they always go off, it seems. Oh well, I'm just going to go for the Acid Spray, and now I think it's going to wake up this turn, and I really need to start lowering this thing's special defense. He's just going to go for those Calm Minds. He needs to raise his special attack high enough that he can kill this Tentacruel, as well as wait out, pretty much stall me because of the residual damage I'm taking with the burn. So, yeah, I need to get Now, from my perspective, I need to get off enough acid sprays that Sludge Bomb will start doing a nice chunk of damage, which will take a few, especially due to the fact that he's also raising his special defense with Calm Mind. But, yeah, due to acid spray lowering at 2 stages, I am coming away with a net gain of -1 special defense per turn against this Suicune. So, I'm just going to keep going for it. I want to get to this thing down to, like, -3, -4 special attack. Something like that. So I continue going for it, and, yeah, you're just going to go for the Calm Mind. And, yeah, that's not much to say about this point in the battle. It's just, and this is really key. This matchup is key, because if Tentacruel goes down, this Suicune is free to sweep the rest of my team. I have nothing else for this thing. Neither, Gligar nor Arcanine can handle it. So I decided to see how much Sludge Bomb would do at this point, and it really does only about half. And I do get the Poison, though, which is going to force him to use the Rest this turn. And I know that he's going to use Rest this turn, because he can't afford to take another Sludge Bomb, or another 2 Sludge Bombs. I am faster, which is an important note to keep in mind. So he's obviously going to go for the Rest, and I don't think I can kill the Sludge Bomb this turn, thanks to the Calm Mind he just got. So I just go for another Acid Spray to lower his defense another couple stages. He goes for the Rest. Now, this is the lowest point I've gotten in special defense. I'm hoping for a 2-hit KO with Sludge Bomb. At worst, a 3-hit KO. And if it is a 3-hit KO, obviously this thing will not be waking up, but it depends on the things he gets off his Sleep Talk. Now, I'm not really actually afraid of a Calm Mind at this point. I just need a Calm Mind. Because looking at that damage, he has 2 of them. If he scalds me at this point, he has enough special attack that can probably kill me. So I need to hope for 2 either Rests or Calm Minds. Now, the first one is a Calm Mind, which is fine. I can still 3-hit KO. It doesn't matter. So I go for the second Sludge Bomb here, and it really comes down to this. If he gets a Calm Mind or a Rest off this Sleep Talk, I'm able to take out this Suicune. Else, this thing kills my Tentacruel. And he gets the Scald. Yay. When are you going to get freaking Rest off the freaking Sleep Talk? How many times do I get... I'm so salty. Every time I try to go with the Sleep Talker, I always just rest, like that stupid lazy shaman I kept trying to use. Oh well, and at this point I'm just hoping that Arcanine can finish it off with the Flare Blitz, but no, I did not bring a offensive set in stat distribution nor moveset. If only I had the Close Combat or the Wild Charge, I might have been able to take this thing out like my other Arcanine has. Why didn't I bring the offensive Arcanine? But yeah, after that Rest, it's basically his game. I'm just gonna go ahead and play it out, but it's a foregone conclusion at this point. There, even with if I crit, like I'd have to like super mega crit him to. No, there's no way. There's no way I can do enough damage, even if I crit every turn with any of my attacks. It's not gonna happen. He's eventually gonna wake up, and oh yeah, there's the Rest when it doesn't matter. And he was like, like, the last 2 were Rests. I'm like, the last 2 didn't matter, dude. Oh, well. But it was still a great match. It was a fun match, and you guys pretty much know it ends at this point, so I am going to just go into the greatest question of the day, being that I am, yeah, we've gone up to, what, 18 minutes already, or close to that? Now, Rest is an interesting recovery move, and, it has some advantages over the other, reliable recovery moves, and, the big disadvantage of sacrificing 2 turns. It does synergize well with Sleep Talk, but the other advantages are that Rest will completely heal your HP as opposed to just 50%, and it will get rid of any statuses in the process, replacing it, of course, with the 2 turns of Sleep. That's got me to think about the question of the day is, what is your favorite recovery move in Pokemon? It's not Rest for me, but I have to say it has to be Wish. Wish is a great move for a Cleric. It uses your own HP stat, and when you switch into a Pokemon, as you know, it will heal that Pokemon on switch-in, so making it a really good move, not only to heal yourself, although you do need to use maybe Protect with it in order to make it really reliable if you want to heal yourself, but it also makes it good to heal other Pokemon on your team. So leave a comment about that, about what your favorite healing move is. If you like this battle, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you guys again next time. Later.